Hello and welcome to the news at 10 live on NTA News 24. I'm Comfort Amadu. Let's take a look at some of the trending stories. Addressing security situation in Benue State, President Bola Tinubu entreats Governor Hyacinth Alia to adopt conflict resolution mechanism. Nigerian Governors Forum seeks immediate reversal of high cost of food and livestock transportation nationwide. Nigerian Export Promotion Council takes crusade of non-oil exports to subnationals. All right, so let's begin from Benue State, where President Bola Tinubu has directed the state government to institute a committee of elders, which would include former governors of the state, to fashion out a permanent solution to the years of killings in the state. President Tinubu addressing a gathering of stakeholders in Makurdi following the recent killings in Yelwata says he is ready to invest in peace of the state. Details with State House correspondent Musba Nawahab.
President Bola Tinubu in Makurdi for the Yelwata killing. The Benue community now in the eye of the world. More than 100 people have reportedly been killed by gunmen in the latest episode of the perennial clashes in the state. And the president headed for the Benue State University Teaching Hospital, where the injured victims are receiving medical attention. He saw for himself tens of survivors in the agony of pains, men, women, and children hoping to survive from the hurt and horrors created by the perpetrators.
We have multiple, and most time when you see a mother and a child, the husband is gone. For every survivor you see, the survivor has lost somebody.
The cause of the attack, like others in the past, has been attributed to Heada's farmers' hostilities. But then, the commander-in-chief wanted to know more than the speculations as he met with stakeholders and those who should know.
Your Excellencies, it is not Heda farmers' clashes, it's not communal clashes, it's not repressor attacks or skirmishes. What we are dealing with here in Benue is a calculated, well-planned, full-scale genocidal invasion and land-grabbing campaign by Heda terrorists and bandits.
The attacks on the peace-loving and good people of Benue State have persisted for well over decades. This, we have cause to feel, is a calculated attempt targeted at annihilating us and taking over our ancestral homes.
President Tinubu expressed sympathy over the loss of lives and properties, describing it as an incident against his wish for growth and development.
You can't give us what we needed, such as food sovereignty, if you continue in conflict. We have no choice but to turn this country into a nation of prosperity, unity. Fight our enemies together, not fight each other now. The value of life, human life, is greater than that of a cow. And it's only when you open the door for conflict that political enemy will come in, will do something for the redevelopment and recreation of that environment.
He acknowledged that people of the state and other parts of the country deserve peace and promised to collaborate with the state government on how to achieve it.
We are here to help you with peace. It's vital to development. As you are not elected to bury people, create orphans and orphanages, and sympathize with widows, we work with you to achieve that peace. So the people of Benue, I just want to appeal to you. It's a very critical time. The governor needs your help. Help encourage him, embrace the peace. I will want us to create this leadership committee now, and then we'll meet in Abuja to really fashion out the nucleus of a lasting peace. And I'm ready to invest in that peace.
The Commander-in-Chief commended the effort of the security agencies and directed them to double down to bring the perpetrators to justice.
Police, I hope your men are on alert to listen to information. How come no arrest is being made?
Beyond the showing of empathy, this president's visit has renewed hope for a more strategic and lasting solution so desired by the people of Benue State to end the avoidable loss of lives.
And there is no rest in peace.
The president is back in Abuja. Musbao and Wahab, NC News.
And a good number of good-spirited individuals have continued to sympathize with the internally displaced persons in Benue State, whose numbers have continued to increase from the incessant attacks on various communities and other vices. This time, the benevolence is coming from the Secretary to the Government of the Federation and former Governor of Benue State, Senator George Akume. Moses Ajao Ode reports.
The visit of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation to Benue State is to commiserate with the people of the Edwata community in Guma local government area of the state and other victims of armed heather attacks across the state. Senator George Akume had a brief stopover at the Benue State University Teaching Hospital, Makurdi, to sympathize with those undergoing treatment before proceeding to Yerwata community along the Makurdi-Lafia Expressway, where scores were reportedly killed by the bandits. The SGF, Senator George Akume, while sympathizing with the people of the state over the recent attacks, stated that the federal government is determined to address the situation, as he urged the security agencies to rise up to the occasion.
Everything that has a beginning has an end. Nobody will eliminate any tribe in this country. Nobody will vanquish the Team Nation, the Burma, the Hausa, the Imperial. No.
Former Minister of Agriculture, Chief Audu Ogbe, and other Benue sons speaks on the situation. High donations of relief materials were carried out by the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, to the victims of the attack.
Woe unto those who support these programs secretly or overtly. The anger of God will fall on them 7 times.
So we wish to thank NEMA for responding immediately to our plight.
However, appeal to Benue people not to take laws into their hands as the state and the federal government is collaborating to end killings across the state. In Makurdi, Moses Ajao Ode, NTA News.
And the Progressive Governors Forum says President Bola Tinubu's security approach to ending incessant killings in Benue State and parts of the country conforms with the resolution of the 20 states governors on the platform of the governing party. The forum commends President Tinubu for his assuring speech and swift detail of Chief of Security Services to deploy measures of contacting the breakdown of law.
We are satisfied with the position of Mr. President on his planned action to stop further killings and violence, not only in Benue State, but almost in every part of the country. And arising from that, we just rose from a meeting where we also discussed the state of the nation and the need for the subnational governments to take security up to the rural communities, to give the ownership of manning the communities and all the entire country to our citizens, citizenship protection.
Governor Hope Uzodinma describes the president's directives on the creation of state police, transformation of grazing reserves and other steps to restore peace as highly commendable. Political correspondent Abubakar Akwanga reports that Nigeria's Governors Forum has issued directives for the immediate reversal of high costs of food and livestock transportation across the country, with far-reaching measures to improve supply chain of commodities to avoid price hike. This was the aftermath of high-powered presentations made by the national security ministers and other key officials of government.
The recent increase in the transportation of food and livestock has put Nigerian governors at a very tight corridor of the nation's economy and placed a huge responsibility of reducing its impact on their shoulders. And as a first-step measure, the forum invited the National Security Advisor, affected ministers, and blamed the situation on illegal checkpoints and taxations, poor infrastructure, and inefficiency in the food supply chain.
Governors thereafter acknowledged the urgency of this matter and expressed commitment to collaborate with the federal authorities to streamline the levies, to dismantle unauthorized checkpoints, and to improve the movement of goods, especially food items, across the states.
The World Bank Nigeria Community Action Recovery and Economic Stimulus, known as NGCare program, with a significant investment of $2.2 billion through the NGCare delivery platforms, with 17 million direct beneficiaries, received NGF's attention.
The forum emphasized the need for an amicable resolution between the World Bank and participating states to conclude the first phase of this program before advancing to NGCares 2.0, which is designed to build a long-term resilience for vulnerable households and enterprises.
Other heads of establishments that took turns to brief the forum were management of Galaxy Backbone and the Special Advisor on Presidential Committee on Fiscal Policy and Tax Reforms. In Abuja, Abubakar Akwanga, NTA News.
The federal government is set to sign more than 30 memoranda of understanding as Nigeria prepares to host the second session of the Nigerian-Brazil Strategic Dialogue Mechanism, scheduled to be held on Monday, June 23rd. Deputy Chief of Staff to the President, Ibrahim Hassan Hadija, disclosed this during a press conference at the presidential villa on the planned visit of the Vice President of Brazil to Nigeria. State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jibrila reports.
This meeting is to highlight the three-day event, providing the platform for government to tap into the new investment flows, facilitate technical cooperation, and open pathways for enhanced strategic engagement for businesses. The visit of the Brazilian delegation is a landmark event in Nigeria's international diplomacy and a strategic platform for deepening bilateral relations between the two influential regional powers.
Nigeria, the largest economy in Africa, and Brazil, the economic powerhouse of Latin America. Since its establishment in 2013, the SDM has served as a cornerstone of our shared vision for mutually beneficial South-South cooperation. It is held biennially on a rotational basis between Abuja and Brasilia, and its return this year signals a renewed momentum in Nigeria-Brazil relations.
The session is particularly significant as it aligns with the renewed hope agenda which emphasizes economic revitalization, global partnerships, and the repositioning of Nigeria on the world stage.
I will have the honor of chairing. With over 400 million consumers combined and complementary strengths in agriculture, bioeconomy, digital innovation, and creative industries, the Nigeria-Brazil Economic Corridor is brimming with untapped potential. This forum is designed to catalyze tangible economic linkages and unlock investment partnerships.
A program that seeks to establish an agricultural initiative in every local government of the Federation, whether it is from production of livestock or production of crops or processing or aggregating.
Nigeria enters into this dialogue with an open heart. For the past 3 months, the Ministry of Art, Culture, Tourism and the Creative Economy has had an active dialogue with our Brazilian counterparts, and these efforts will culminate into the signing of 2 pivotal memorandum of understanding, and it will open new doors and new vistas for Nigeria and for Brazil.
We have close to 30 MOUs that we are negotiating. Some will be able to conclude next week and sign, and while others will continue for the state visit of Mr. President to Brazil.
The strategic dialogue mechanism being coordinated by the Office of the Vice President is designed not just as a diplomatic event, but as a strategic platform to secure real investment outcomes and deepen South-South cooperation. From the State House, Brahman Jibrila, NTA News.
This is the news at 10, live on NTA News 24. We have more reports ahead. Stay tuned.
I am Oluremi Tinubu, the global and national Stop TB champion. Many people have asked why I've chosen to champion the fight against a disease like tuberculosis. My reason stems from a deep personal experience. I once had a friend who unfortunately fell ill and concealed the nature of his sickness until it was too late. Eventually, after he passed, we discovered he had tuberculosis. Sadly, due to the stigma and discrimination surrounding the disease, he would not speak up or seek for help. His death was a painful reminder that we could have intervened and saved a life if only we had known earlier. Tuberculosis is an airborne disease that primarily affects the lungs, but can also impact other parts of the body. Being airborne means anyone, regardless of their social economic status, can contract it. In Nigeria, 1 person dies of TB-related illness every 7 minutes, amounting to 206 deaths every day. Globally, 1 person succumbs to TB every 25 seconds, which is a staggering 3,456 lives lost daily. These deaths are entirely preventable because TB is curable if detected and treated early. If you or someone you know has been coughing for 2 weeks or more, coughing up blood, experiencing night sweats, or losing weight drastically, it might be TB. Please visit the nearest government hospital or primary healthcare center for proper diagnosis and treatment. TB treatment is free in all government and some private health facilities. Let us also remember not to stigmatize or discriminate against TB patients or those who have been treated for TB. Individuals who have been cured of TB cannot infect others. I call on all stakeholders, especially the private sector, to join us in the fight to end TB in Nigeria. Together, we can make a difference. Remember, TB anywhere is TB everywhere. End TB by 2030. Yes, we can.
Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu says she will retain her focus on initiatives that promote the health and education of women and girl child, describing such a move as pathways to improving the health of all Nigerians. She was speaking during the 13th anniversary and 7th MEC Foundation First Ladies Initiative Summit in Dubai. State House correspondent Adeni Taiwo reports.
With a strong history of partnering to promote women's health and well-being, the 13th anniversary and 7th MEC Foundation First Ladies Initiative Summit in Dubai seeks to re-emphasize the Foundation's programs and explore areas of further collaboration with various African countries through their First Ladies. Speaking along First Ladies of 13 other nations, Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu, who was recently appointed as ambassador for Make More Than a Mother campaign, notes that empowering girls through education plays a crucial role in building stronger and healthier nations.
Your recent visit to my office in Nigeria provided an in-depth insight into the impactful and well-driven programs of Merck Foundation, and I'm inspired by all the great work you have been doing.
She applauds the efforts of Merck Foundation, which has been supporting healthcare through the provision of scholarship to medical doctors and medical professionals from Africa and Asia in the last 13 years.
Under the Merck Foundation Nationwide Diabetes Blue Points program, 39 scholarships are being provided for our young doctors from different states in Nigeria for oncology research, 1-year diploma and 2-year master's degree in diabetes, endocrinology, preventive cardiovascular, cardiology, and obesity and weight management.
I believe this gathering is far more than a summit. It is a powerful symbol of what we can accomplish when we unite for a shared vision and a purpose, that everyone should be able to lead a healthy and happy life.
Every doctor who graduates, and you all know, when they go back to their countries, they see more than 1,000 patients, treat more than 1,000 patients per month.
Other African First Ladies present all emphasized the role of African women in domestic and public spheres, despite all the challenges they face culturally and financially. Already, the foundation has provided scholarships for 2,270 medical practitioners from 52 countries in 44 critical areas of healthcare, and the community awareness program, which includes breaking the infertility stigma, ending gender-based violence and hypertension, among others. Adeni Taiwo, NTA News.
And Nigeria has reaffirmed its commitment to strengthening health systems and boosting domestic capacity as it engaged with global partners at the 15th BRICS Health Ministers meeting held in Brasilia, Brazil. Minister of State for Health and Social Welfare, Dr. Isaac Salako, stressed the importance of international collaboration in tackling emerging health threats such as pandemics, climate change, antimicrobial resistance, and rising non-communicable diseases. He also conveyed the goodwill message of President Bola Tinubu and praised Brazil for hosting the high-level engagement. Dr. Salako underscored the need for stronger South-South cooperation, noting that BRICS offers a critical platform for populous nations to share innovations and address global health inequalities. He outlined Nigeria's health sector renewal investment initiative, a reform blueprint anchored on good governance, efficient service delivery and health security. And according to him, the initiative supports local pharmaceutical production, revitalizes primary health care, and expands health insurance coverage. The minister also announced that Nigeria would host the next high-level ministerial meeting on antimicrobial resistance in June 2026. Let's talk export, with the Nigerian Export Promotion Council stepping up its push to make non-oil export a major driver of economic growth in the country. In a strategic shift, the council is now helping states build customized plans to tap into their export potential. And correspondent reports on how NEPC is aligning state-level export agendas with the national policy to boost internally generated revenue.
The total amount of onions exported out of this country was up to 182 billion naira.
Nigeria's non-oil export sector is beginning to show promise, and for many states, it's becoming a reliable pathway to diversify their economies and compete internationally, especially in areas like agriculture, manufacturing, and solid minerals. At a recent meeting with state committees on export promotion, NEPC stressed the need to build on what already exists, like economic clusters and aggregation centers, to boost long-term growth and open doors to global markets.
So when we build these clusters, there will be certification will be done free of charge for them. We will bring seedlings as much as we can. We will bring technical expertise from our development partners, and we'll create the market for you. So this is an opportunity that we believe that every state should take advantage of.
But it is not just about exporting more goods. The bigger goal is to help states increase their revenue by making non-oil export a solid source of income. And to do that, NEPC is teaming up with state export committees, trade facilitators, and development partners.
People need to know that we can produce the quality, the quantity of what is required, and then it meets global standards, in fact, global requirements.
Through the One State, One Product initiative, NEPC is working to identify the most promising products in all 36 states to boost both the quality and the volume of exports.
The only thing that can guarantee access to them to participate in the export value chain is the cooperative business model, because that's where inclusivity lies.
There's also a bigger picture. The council wants to rebuild Nigerians' entire trade landscape by supporting exporters, strengthening MSMEs, and making it easier for local products to reach international markets. The ambition is to double Nigerians' non-oil export figures. In Abuja, Comfort Amodu, NTA News. That concludes the news at this time. I am Comfort Amodu. Thanks for watching.